I am still currently in the stadium. It's been 5 minutes since the game has just finished, and actually let me show you guys the view that I am sitting right here. Let me lower the thing right here. There we go. There's the view. Very nice view indeed. Let's put this back up here, but yeah, in the end, LAFC won, DC United won, and wow, what a game it was, what an atmosphere it was. And you know, a couple of days ago when Christian Pulisic talked about how this LAFC crowd and this atmosphere is certainly one of the best in MLS, and probably the best in MLS, and he was no kidding. I mean, the atmosphere was absolutely insane. The 3-2-5-2 was just singing their hearts out. I mean, they even sing their hearts out from the beginning of the game till all the way till the end, and even when the game hasn't even started, they already started the chant. I mean, it was just very amazing atmosphere. Definitely 100 times better than what I experienced at Quakes games. But overall, talking about this game, yeah, there was a lot of controversy in this game, especially in the second half. But obviously, I'll get into that. Let's talk about what happened in the first half, because DC United actually kind of started off pretty well. They kind of had a couple of half chances in the first 5 minutes. And then LAFC basically just kind of took over at that point, and DC United was kind of like trying to bunker down, stuff like that. Mark Anthony K actually delivered a very beautiful cross. I think it was Rossi or Vela that he was intended, but it was a very beautiful cross. And unfortunately, Rossi or Vela, the one that he was intended, just could not quite put that one into the back of the net. And then Mark K himself also had a couple of chances to score on his own. I mean, he had one that he basically blasted into the well, not the back of the net, but blasted into the 3-2-5-2 supporter group. And then he had one where he had the ball right in the 12-yard box, and he was kind of like dribbling around the 12-yard box, and Osted was kind of like off his line. He was scrambling to try to get it, and I don't know why in the world did Mark Anthony K not just slot it home. Like, he could have just easily chipped Osted right there, but instead, I think he was trying to be a little bit too cute and trying to dribble across him to slot it into the empty net, and Osted eventually did kind of claim that. And then eventually Mark Anthony K was once again in the action, but this time he did a very good job to just poke the ball away. Well, he didn't poke the ball away, but there was kind of like a 50-50 ball in the box, and he basically just poked that ball before that DC United player can make a challenge in, and that ball gave it right into Diego Rossi, and Rossi basically just put it into the back of the net, and at that point it was 1-0. And then after that, you know, LAFC definitely still had the momentum, but then this is where the controversy began, and it all started about 2 minutes deep into stoppage time. Dejan Jokovic did a very kind of reckless challenge. I think it was on Paul Areola, and you know, obviously the referee showed a straight red on that, and you know, I kind of did look on the replay. I kind of recorded that, and I kind of looked on the replay. And, you know, Jokovic did kind of go stud up in that play. I'm not quite sure if he won the ball or not. Some people say that he kind of won the ball when he made the challenge, but, you know, he did win stud up. And usually when you do that in MLS, it's kind of like a 50-50 kind of situation where the ref can sometimes call a red card on that. I mean, if I was the ref at that moment, I would have given a yellow card, even though it definitely did look reckless in real time, and you know, the stud was definitely up. I think I would have said that, you know, I would give Jokovic a yellow card, and I tell him that, you know, this is your last one. The next one you create another bad foul, then you are gonna get a second yellow. But instead, he sent him off, and he actually didn't even go to VAR for that play, which I was actually very surprised, because, you know, it looked like he could have just looked at VAR on that. I mean, I know some people say, well, it has to be obvious and it has to be just an obvious mistake by the ref, but I think that in that situation, it definitely looked like a 50-50 call, and the referee could have just checked it in VAR. And even though when he checked it on VAR and he come back and on the replay, it looked like he definitely went stud up, and that's worthy of a red card. Then just give him a red card. But the ref didn't go to VAR at that point, and then in the second half, you know, LAFC actually had a couple more chances of their own too. Vela was through on goal. I think it was right around the 55th minute. He was through on goal on the left side, and I do not know how in the world did he not put that away. I mean, usually when you see Vela through on goal, one-on-one with the keeper, he always slots it home, but he unfortunately kind of slots it wide. And then, you know, there was another controversial play right near the 3-2-5-2 section where I think that there was a foul or something like that, or there was like a corner or something like that. But either way, the referee looked into VAR in that, and he says that there was a foul, but it was against DC United, and obviously Maddox was very upset about that because he thinks that he was fouled by Simon at that point. But, you know, the referee, of course, reward a free kick for LAFC right in front of the 3-2-5-2. And then a couple of minutes later, we had another VAR situation where there was like a handball situation right on the left side. Originally, the ref actually called a handball. He said that it was a penalty, but then when he looked on VAR, and this time he actually only took like maybe 30 seconds to look at VAR. The instant previous to the VAR where they decide whether or not if it was like a penalty or not, that one they took like a long time to figure out, and I don't know why they took a long time to figure that out. But, you know, they did look at the VAR to see whether or not if that was a penalty or not, whether or not if that was a handball. And when I look on the replay, I think it's the correct call that they said no penalty. I mean, I know the fans were absolutely livid about that, but it looked like when that ball was strike into that DC United player, it looks like his hand was just in a natural position, and that was, I think that's definitely a pretty good call. But then the ref missed a handball from DC United just literally a couple of minutes ago, and not only he did not even point to the spot, he didn't even call anything, he just completely ignores it. He said it was not a handball, and when I look at it, that looked like definitely a handball. But certainly DC United did kind of get their justice from that non-handball call, as they eventually did slot it into the back of the net. It was a lovely kind of flick from Ariola, and then he basically just flicked it into Maddox. Maddox was waiting in the back post. He basically slots it home. And I'll tell you what, Darren Maddox, he had a lot of balls to celebrate right in front of the 3-2-5-2. And the 3-2-5-2 were not only booing at him, they were throwing trash at him. They were doing like what Orlando City did a couple of weeks ago when they decided to throw trash to the referee because of numerous bad calls. And and also we had like 7 minutes of added time, and that 7 minutes felt like forever, really. I mean, I just thought, is this game ever gonna end? And both teams had a couple of chances on their own. DC United also hit the post. I think it was Maddox that hit the post on that, or was it Acosta? I'm not quite sure, but they hit the post. Very unlucky for them to not score that second goal. But yeah, in the end, it did end it in a 1-1 game. And like I said, it was a very kind of wild game. It was a very kind of strange game, full of controversy. And, overall, this result, I don't think this is going to really harm LAFC that much because, like I said, they picked up so much points in the first half of the season. And, I think going forward, this certainly is not a result they wanted. When you play against DC United, which is right now one of the worst team in the league, and you only managed to get a draw out of that, it's certainly disappointed. But then again, LAFC in these last couple of games hasn't really been playing that well either. And in these last couple of games, they've been kind of nursing some resort and just kind of just barely get it over the line to get all 3 points. And, we're going to find out what's going to happen going forward. This World Cup period is definitely going to be interesting for them, knowing that they're not going to have Vela, they're not going to have Simon, they're not going to have Gabbard, and all those other guys that they're going to be missing because of the World Cup. It's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to go. But either way, guys, that is pretty much it for me in this review video, the special match review between LAFC and DC United. By the way, one more time, give you guys a look of the stadium. You can see there's the 3252 supporters are still in the stand. I think they're still cheering. I mean, that, tell you what, they are definitely one of the most hardcore kind of supporter group you will ever see. But either way, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash that subscribe button, and yeah, I will see you guys next time.